The Mini Cooper has always been a British car right from the very beginning in 1959. Well, Mini has revealed its new range of Minis, and this means that the Mini Electric has been updated. A new name and a new maker. The new Mini Cooper Electric is now Chinese. Is it still any good, and most importantly, is it still a true Mini at heart? Well, let's find out. Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Cars and More. This is the #1 place to be for car news and reviews. Sit back, buckle up, let's go. So let's start with the design at the front of the new Mini Cooper Electric, and to start with I do have to say that it has lost most of its mini quirks and features. To start with, we don't get the chrome or black rings around the headlights, which has gone, and as too has the clamshell bonnet been replaced with a regular bonnet and wings, which is a big shame. You don't even get a hood scoop anymore. The bumper design is a bit plain too, and there aren't even any side vents. We do get a decent sized grille though, although it is mostly body coloured. The headlights also do still look quite classical too, and it does still look like a Mini at the front. Move around to the side though and the changes continue. To start with, we don't get any plastic wheel arches anymore, which was the modern Mini look. We also get a flush door handle, which isn't chrome or black like before either. The door mirrors are different and are curvier than before, which does suit this car quite well actually, as do the wheel designs, which are different from before but again are unique to the Mini brand. Moving around to the back of the new Mini Cooper Electric, and this is where I have to say that I don't actually like the design that much. To start with, the tail lights have this triangular shape to it, which doesn't represent the Mini heritage at all. Now, on the convertible Cooper, on the petrol one, this does have the old tail light design, which suits this car much better whilst having the updated graphics. I do think if they had this on the back of this car, then it would look much more Mini-like. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still unmistakably Mini at the back because of its curved design, but I just think it could have looked a bit better. I am also not sure about the black bar running along the back or with the new name on it. The bumper is also a bit plain looking, but I can forgive that because it is electric. Overall then, it's not too bad, but it does feel like it is a bit distant. I must add though that if you do go for a petrol model, then this has all those features back, but that will be coming in a review very soon. Right, let's have a look at what battery and motor options you can have with the new Mini Cooper Electric. Now, you might think that the new Mini Cooper Electric is still based on the regular petrol model, but you would be wrong. Both cars are now not connected at all. The Mini Cooper Electric sits on an all-new electric-only platform. You can get the new Mini Cooper Electric in 3 flavours. This is E, SE or John Cooper Works. Let's start with the E first. This gets a 182 brake horsepower motor mounted to the front, giving this car front wheel drive. This can do 0 to 62 in 7.3 seconds and is mated to a 36 kWh battery pack, giving this car a 183 mile range, which isn't the best to be honest. The next version is the SE, and this uses a 216 brake horsepower motor, again mounted on the front, giving this car front wheel drive. 0 to 62 is dealt with in 6.7 seconds, and this is mated to a much bigger 50 kWh battery pack, giving this car a better range of 245 miles. The final version is the John Cooper Works version, and this uses a 256 brake horsepower motor powering the front wheels, giving this car a 0 to 62 time of just 5.9 seconds. This uses the same 50 kWh battery pack as the SE, giving this car a 235 mile range, which isn't that bad. The price of the new Mini Cooper Electric starts at £26,905, which again is actually quite good for a Mini. Let's have a look and see what the interior is like. So, climbing inside the new Mini Cooper Electric and we get an all new interior. To start with, it is low down and very minimalistic, just like what the classic Mini had like. We also get some bright colours which we haven't actually seen before in a Mini. To start with, we get this big central 9.4 inch OLED circular screen which runs the latest BMW iDrive OS 9 operating system. This means the Mini owners can now finally use Android Auto. Now, this screen also houses your instrument cluster too, just like a Tesla, and I am actually okay with this as the older modern Minis did have this, especially the classic 1959 Mini too. This infotainment system can be a bit laggy at times and a bit confusing to use, but once you do have it set up, it does work quite well. You also get a little voice assistant called Spike, which is a little dog which I quite like. Sadly though, the climate controls are on the screen and are a bit fiddly to use. Moving down, we get a row of 5 toggles. These are your volume control, driving modes, of which there are 8 of them. Next you have your fake start key, which is your start stop button. Next to this you have your gear selector and your park button too. Just below this you have a few essential buttons too. The centre console is very minimalistic and open, which is quite practical and again similar to the classic cars. You also get a wireless charger too, which is quite handy. Now, in front of the driver I would recommend speccing the optional heads-up display so you can have the speed right in front of you still. The steering wheel is all new and very minimalistic, which I do quite like. It is also quite small and has this little ribbon to give it a 3-spoke design. What I am not sure of now are these mismatched indicator stalks, which for me does look a bit silly. It's a bit like one company designs the indicator stalk whilst the other designed the wiper stalk. Finally, we get these comfy seats which are supportive but a bit plain looking and not as good as the older Mini seats. Sadly, there isn't as much customisation before either, which is a very big shame. What you can have now are these light up projectors behind the screen which lights up the dashboard, which I suppose is quite clever. Right, let's have a look and see what the rear seats are like. So, climbing into the back of the Mini, and there is no surprise that legroom isn't best and neither is headroom. There is also lots of plastic too, which does make it feel quite cheap. Really then, it is only good for children in the back. Anyway, let's have a look and see what the boot space is like. So, opening the boot, and you are welcomed with 210 litres of boot space, which isn't the biggest on the market. If you do fold down the rear seats now, this does increase to 731 litres, which again isn't the best. Also, considering this is based on an electric car platform, you would expect there to be a front boot, but sadly there isn't. This means you have to store your charging cables in the boot, taking up even more space. So in summary then, what do I think of the new Mini Cooper Electric? Well, yes, it does feel like a Mini and it does mostly look like a Mini still, but it does also feel like the hint of the old Mini heritage has been lost in this model. It does also look a bit like a Chinese copy, which I suppose it is what it is. Now, I am not against this, but I do think Mini has missed the marks here slightly, because if they made it a bit more like the previous Minis, then I do think it would have worked very well. I know why they have gone down this route, as they wanted a more minimalistic and a more less is more approach, but to me I don't think it has worked that well for this car. It is still a decent car though, but if you want the true Mini looks, then I would recommend having the petrol option instead. You can also have a 5-door and a convertible on the petrol option too. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.